Daniel Harper commands everything in his perfect world, from his Chicago real estate empire to his Lake Forest mansion, where surprises have no place. But one evening, he witnesses something that leaves him speechless. His 13-year-old son, Liam, dancing a passionate swing with Ava, the waitress he's barely noticed. The sight shakes every ounce of his control. Yet the truth behind Ava will change everything. Who is she and what secret lies hidden? Stay until the end to uncover the shocking twist. What would you do when faced with a moment that flips your life upside down? All right, my dear audience, brace yourselves for a story that'll leave you in awe. Take a second to like this video and subscribe, but only if you truly connect with what I'm sharing here. And drop a comment below letting me know where you're watching from and what time it is for you. It's always thrilling to see someone joining us from all corners of the globe. Daniel Harper strides through the vast hallways of his Lake Forest mansion. Each step echoes on the marble floor like the rhythm of a perfectly programmed machine. At 45, he is a symbol of power in Chicago. His real estate empire shapes the city's skyline. Daniel's days are meticulously scheduled, every minute calculated like pieces in a billion-dollar chess game. His company thrives under his iron grip. His mansion, with its shimmering glass walls and pristine white interiors, operates like a machine that never falters. There's no room for surprises, no cracks for mistakes. This is how Daniel lives, how he conceals the unhealed wound from 4 years ago, when Sophia, the wife he loved, vanished in a plane crash. His 13-year-old son, Liam, was once the sunlight in Daniel's world. But since Sophia's departure, Liam has withdrawn, sinking into science books and heavy silence. His radiant smile, which once melted Daniel's heart, has vanished, replaced by a distant gaze. Daniel believes discipline is the only cure. He runs Liam's life like his company. Tutors arrive on time. Coaches are carefully chosen. Dinner menus pre-approved. His love is protection. Invisible walls he builds around his son. But deep down, a voice whispers he's missing something. Something he dares not face. Each morning, as dawn casts a hazy glow over Lake Michigan, Daniel leaves the mansion. Liam left in the care of those he's hired. He rarely meets his son's eyes, afraid that gaze will reflect the pain he tries to bury. In Daniel's world, everything must be perfect. He pays no mind to Ava Bennett, the 27-year-old waitress hired to assist at dinner parties. With her blonde hair tied high and hands swiftly clearing plates, Ava is a faint shadow, a minor detail in the machine he's built. Daniel can't recall the last time he spoke to her, doesn't notice how she glides through crowds with an odd grace, as if each step carries a hidden rhythm. But one July evening, as the mansion's lights spill onto the garden, Daniel's perfect world suddenly trembles. From his study window, he sees an unbelievable sight. Liam, in a crumpled shirt and muddy sneakers, dances on the lawn, struggling to match Ava's swift swing steps. Ava, apron still tied on, moves like a breeze, each step brimming with life and startling precision. Liam stumbles constantly, his feet clumsy. Yet instead of frustration, he laughs. A clear, carefree laugh Daniel hasn't heard since Sophia was alive. His heart tightens. Liam, the boy who hid in darkness, now shines because of her. Daniel stands there, his hand gripping the desk's edge, his breath quickening. He blinks, as if to dispel a mirage. But they remain, moving on the grass in strange harmony. Liam's dance steps are hesitant, unsteady, yet filled with an unusual focus, as if he's rediscovering a piece of himself. Ava, with a grace Daniel never associated with a waitress, doesn't just dance, she leads, guiding Liam with a teacher's devotion. Every motion of hers is precise, deliberate, as if trained in the art of rhythm and emotion. A cold unease spreads through Daniel's chest. He cannot accept anyone, especially an unknown employee, holding such sway over his son. Liam is his world, the last piece of Sophia, and he cannot let another step in. The longer he watches, the more his irritation grows, a smoldering flame. Why didn't Liam tell him? Why choose Ava, a stranger, over his own father? With rigid posture, Daniel steps outside, his leather shoes striking hard on the stone path. As he nears, Liam senses his father's presence. The smile on his face fades, replaced by anxiety. Ava pauses, her gaze calm but wary, as if anticipating the storm about to break. One July evening, the lights from the Lake Forest mansion spill into the garden. Pale pink roses sway gently in the soft breeze. Daniel Harper, after a long day of negotiations in downtown Chicago, sits in his study, a glass of red wine shimmering in his hand. He often turns to this garden to ease his stress, the quiet chirping of birds and the scent of fresh grass soothing his mind. But as his gaze drifts through the wide glass window, a sight stops his heart. Liam, his 13-year-old son in a crumpled shirt and muddy sneakers, dances on the lawn, struggling to keep up with the lively swing steps of Ava Bennett. Ava, the 27-year-old waitress with her blonde hair tied high and a crumpled apron, moves like a whirlwind, each step bursting with energy, precise as a seasoned dancer. Daniel stands frozen, his hand gripping the wine glass until his knuckles turn white. His breathing quickens, as if the air in the room has suddenly thickened. Liam, the boy who rarely leaves his room, who has sunk into books and silence since his mother, Sophia, died 4 years ago, is now dancing. Liam's steps are clumsy, awkward, stumbling repeatedly as he tries to spin to the rhythm. But instead of frustration, he laughs. A clear, radiant sound echoing through the garden like a forgotten melody. Daniel feels his chest tighten. That laugh, which he once saw when Sophia held Liam in her arms, has been gone too long. Now it's back. Not because of him, but because of Ava. He blinks, as if to dispel an illusion. But they're still there, under the soft golden light, moving on the grass in strange harmony. Liam, with feet unaccustomed to the rhythm, seems to pour his entire focus into each step, his eyes shining with rare determination. Ava, her apron swaying with every spin, doesn't just dance, she leads, correcting Liam's movements with a teacher's devotion. Each of her steps carries a grace, a deliberate rhythm, as if she once lived in a world of music and motion. Daniel never imagined a waitress, someone he barely noticed at parties, could bring this forth. He doesn't understand. Why did Liam choose her? Why not him? A cold unease creeps into Daniel's chest, like the breeze from Lake Michigan blowing through the garden. He cannot accept anyone, especially an insignificant employee like Ava, having such influence over his son. Liam is his world, the last piece of Sophia, and he's built invisible walls to protect him. But now, those walls seem to be cracking. He watches. The longer he looks, the more a smoldering anger rises. Ava isn't just playing. She's penetrating a deep part of Liam, a part even he, the father, cannot reach. Deep down, a painful truth stirs. Liam has never been this happy with him. Daniel stands there, his gaze locked on the garden. Each of Liam's laughs is like a knife, both sweet and cruel, reminding him of days when his son ran through the house, calling Dad with carefree joy. Now he finds that joy with a stranger. He wants to step out, to break this moment, but his feet feel heavy. Fear seeps into his mind. Fear that he's failed, that he doesn't know what his son truly needs. Ava spins, her blonde hair glinting under the lights, and Liam tries to mimic her, falling onto the grass but rising again, his smile unwavering. Daniel feels his chest constrict. He cannot bear the thought that a waitress, someone he barely knows by name, could unlock a door he's kept shut. With rigid posture, Daniel sets the wine glass on the table, the clink of glass on wood ringing sharply. He steps outside, his leather shoes striking hard on the stone path, each step fueled by a resolve to reclaim control. The night breeze sweeps through, carrying a chill, but it cannot cool the fire raging within him. As he approaches, Liam senses his father's presence. The smile on his face vanishes, his eyes fill with anxiety, as if caught in the act. Ava stops, her gaze calm but wary, as if bracing for the storm to come. Daniel stands there, his heart pounding, unaware that this moment will change everything. That night, in the library of the Lake Forest mansion, a cold blue light from the laptop screen casts shadows on Daniel Harper's tense face. Outside, the July wind sweeps across Lake Michigan, its chill seeping through the glass window frames. Daniel sits there, his fingers gliding over the keyboard, his gaze sharp as when analyzing a billion-dollar deal. But this time it's not stocks or contracts. It's Ava Bennett, the waitress he once overlooked, the one who made his son Liam smile radiantly for the first time in 4 years. A smoldering unease burns in his chest, urging him to unravel the mystery. He types her name into the system, determined to uncover the truth. Ava's profile appears. So simple, it's suspicious. Born in Philadelphia, 27 years old. Worked as a waitress in high-end restaurants in New York and Boston. No criminal record, no achievements, nothing remarkable. Just a faint shadow, quietly cleaning up after his dinner parties. But Daniel's instinct, honed by outsmarting every rival in the real estate world, whispers that something is amiss. He frowns. His fingers pause on the keyboard. The image of Ava dancing in the garden, her blonde hair glinting, her steps brimming with rhythm, flashes in his mind. Those weren't the movements of a waitress. They were art, passion. He adds, Ava Bennett dancer to the search, his heart beating faster. Time passes. The night outside grows thick. Daniel scrolls through countless irrelevant results, his eyes weary but unyielding. Then, like a bolt of lightning tearing through the darkness, an article from 7 years ago appears. Its headline steals his breath. Philadelphia swing star vanishes after tragic accident. He clicks, and as the page loads, a photo strikes him. Ava, younger, radiant in a fiery red swing dress, stands on a stage, her arms raised high, her confident smile as if lighting up the world. She's utterly unlike the quiet waitress who clears tables in his home, always bowing her head, avoiding eyes. The article tells of Ava Bennett, a 20-year-old swing dancer who took national competitions by storm. She and her partner Ethan were a perfect pair, their performances in Philadelphia earning standing ovations. They were invited to perform on Broadway, a turning point to dominate the dance world. But just before their biggest show, a car accident claimed Ethan, leaving Ava alone on the stage of grief. After that, she vanished. No interviews, no explanations, as if the light within her had gone out. Daniel reads each line, his chest heavy. He imagines Ava standing there in the theater's shadows as news of Ethan arrives. He imagines the radiant smile in the photo shattering as his own world shattered when Sophia left. Daniel leans back in his chair. His breathing slows, but his heart still races. Questions flood his mind. Why would a talent like Ava abandon everything to become a waitress? A nameless job in lavish kitchens? Why did she choose to teach Liam to dance? Opening a door he, the father, couldn't touch. He gazes out the window, where darkness engulfs the garden, where Liam and Ava once danced under the lights. A strange feeling rises, not just unease, but curiosity laced with worry. He feels like he's standing before a locked door, the key hidden somewhere in Ava's past. Daniel's fingers brush lightly over the wooden desk. His eyes return to the screen. The photo of Ava in her red dress lingers, a reminder that she isn't who he thought. She's not just a waitress. She's a star that faded, a soul that once burned brightly before sinking into shadow. But why is she here, in his home, bringing light to Liam? Daniel rubs his temples, trying to ease the throbbing ache. He despises mysteries, despises anything beyond his control. Liam is his world, the last fragment of Sophia, and the thought that Ava might know something he doesn't unsettles him. The night deepens, the library's lights dim. Daniel shuts the laptop, but Ava's image lingers in his mind. He rises, steps to the window, looks out at the garden now cloaked in darkness. A quiet resolve forms. He will uncover the truth, not just about Ava, but about his own son. He doesn't know that the door he's about to open will lead to answers beyond his imagination, answers that will change everything. Dear audience, take a moment to relax or grab a glass of water, then listen on for the story's surprising twists ahead. And let me know in the comments where you're watching from and what time it is for you. It's always exciting to see someone join us from all corners of the world. Drop a comment with the number 1 if you find this story captivating, so we can keep bringing you more incredible tales. In the weeks that followed, the garden of the Lake Forest mansion became a secret stage for Liam and Ava. Each evening, as the lights from lavish dinner parties faded, they quietly practiced under the moonlight, where pale pink roses trembled in the July breeze. Daniel Harper, from his study window, watched silently, his gaze sharp but turbulent. Liam, his 13-year-old son who once shrank into shadows, now moved across the lawn, striving to match Ava's increasingly intricate swing steps. His steps, once clumsy and timid, gradually grew firm, as if he were reclaiming a piece of himself. Muk hoi che dai sung tran. Sweat soaked his white shirt, but his eyes blazed each time he completed a spin, a small flame igniting in the night. Ava, her blonde hair tied high, her apron discarded, taught Liam more than technique. She showed him how to release fear, how to let music guide him through the hidden corners of his soul. Each time Liam stumbled, she gently signaled him to rise, her eyes carrying a profound patience, as if she understood the invisible scars he bore. Daniel stood there, his hand gripping the desk's edge, his heart pounding. He saw Liam change, not just in each dance step, but in how he breathed, how he held his head. The boy who once hid in books, who shunned every glance, now smiled fleetingly when Ava nodded in approval. That smile, small yet radiant, stirred memories of Sophia in Daniel. She who loved to dance, who once filled their home with laughter. But Liam's transformation brought no comfort. It unearthed a buried pain in Daniel. A truth he tried to suppress surfaced. He wasn't the one who brought light back to his son. Ava, the waitress he'd deemed invisible, had done that. Each night as Liam and Ava practiced, Daniel felt an unseen distance grow between him and his son. He longed to step into the garden, to ask Liam why he didn't share this joy with him. But he halted, held back by fear. Fear that he couldn't replace Sophia. Fear that Liam had found something he couldn't give. One evening, as silver moonlight stretched across the lawn, Liam sat beside Daniel after dinner, his hands clasped tightly, his eyes sparkling. He shyly shared his dream of a dance competition in downtown Chicago, his voice trembling but resolute. He wanted to compete, to keep what Mom loved alive. Those words pierced Daniel like a blade. Sophia once glided through their living room, spinning to swing music, pulling Liam into impromptu dances. Daniel had buried those memories, believing discipline could heal. Now, through Ava, Liam sought to revive them. His chest tightened, pride mixed with pain. He wanted to refuse, to shield Liam from pressure, from potential failure. But the boy's eyes, burning like an unquenchable flame, made refusal impossible. Daniel agreed, his voice dry as he set a condition. Ava must train Liam rigorously. He glanced at the garden, where Ava and Liam's shadows once danced, and a smoldering unease stirred. He couldn't fathom why Ava, a waitress with a mysterious past, devoted time to Liam. Did she have other motives? His business instinct, always alert to anomalies, now sounded a warning. He recalled the article about Ava. A swing star vanished after tragedy. Who was she, truly? Why choose Liam? Why this house? The questions swirled in his mind, like the cold breeze from Lake Michigan sweeping through the garden. Daniel turned to Liam, the boy wiping sweat from his brow, his hands still trembling with excitement. He wanted to ask, to know why Liam sought Ava instead of him. But he stayed silent. Fear of failure, fear that he wasn't enough as a father, held him back. He only nodded, signaling Liam to go to bed. As the boy left, Daniel stood alone in the dining room, the chandelier glinting overhead. He felt as if he stood on the edge of something vast, something he couldn't control. The garden outside was silent, but within Daniel, a storm was brewing, waiting to erupt. In the historic theater in downtown Chicago, stage lights blaze like stars, illuminating a space thick with tension. The audience fills every seat, soft whispers mingling with the anxious breaths of dancers backstage. Liam, the 13-year-old in a small black suit, stands amid the chaos of shoelaces and dresses, his hands trembling as he reties a knot. Sweat glistens on his forehead, his eyes flickering between excitement and fear. Ava, in a simple shirt and with a calm as still as a lake, steps forward, gently placing a hand on Liam's shoulder. Her gaze, deep and steady, conveys an invisible trust, like a breeze lifting him up. Daniel Harper, seated in the front row, clenches his hands until they ache, feeling powerless for the first time. He, who controls everything, from his real estate empire to Liam's schedule, can do nothing to shield his son from the stage, from the failure lurking nearby. Backstage feels stifling, the scent of perfume blending with tension. Liam stands there, his chest heaving, stage lights spilling through the red velvet curtain, both inviting and challenging. Daniel, in a dark suit, feels his chest constrict. He recalls days when Liam was small, nestled in Sophia's arms, laughing loudly each time she spun him to music. Now, Liam stands alone, facing the eyes of hundreds of strangers. Daniel yearns to rush forward, to pull him back to safety, but he remains seated, his gaze locked on his son's slight figure. He's afraid. Afraid Liam will fall, afraid the light in his eyes will fade, as it did after Sophia's passing. Liam's name is announced, echoing through the speakers. He steps out, his black shoes gleaming under the lights, blinding beams shining on his youthful face. The audience falls silent, the air heavy as if holding its breath. Swing music erupts, vibrant and full of energy, like a river sweeping Liam along. He begins to move, each step carrying both fear and passion. His hands tremble, but his eyes burn, as if dancing not just for the crowd, but for the world, for Sophia, for himself. At one moment during a swift spin, Liam nearly loses balance, his feet faltering on the polished wooden floor. Daniel holds his breath, his hands clenching tighter, his heart pounding as if it might burst. But Liam, with a resilience Daniel has never seen, regains his rhythm, his steps smoother, as if the music has become part of him. The final move arrives, a daring, partnerless leap, practiced for weeks under the garden's moonlight. The audience grows still, eyes fixed on the small boy in the vast stage. Liam summons all his strength, spinning mid-air, his arms outstretched like wings. Time slows, lights glint on his face, sweat trails down. Then he lands, softly, perfectly, his shoes touching the floor with a faint echo. The theater explodes in applause, like waves crashing. Liam stands there, his chest heaving, his eyes sparkling, as if he's just rediscovered himself. Daniel rises, clapping, his heart racing. A strange, nameless emotion wells up, blurring his eyes. He sees Liam, no longer the boy hiding in books, but a radiant soul, daring to face his fears. But when the results are announced, Daniel's heart tightens again. Liam doesn't win first place. Another dancer, Mateo Rivera, steps up to claim the trophy, his confident smile shining brightly. Daniel feels a pang, fearing the light in Liam's eyes will dim. But then, the host declares a special award for passion and expression. Liam's name rings out, and the boy steps forward, a medal gleaming around his neck, his chest still rising and falling with rapid breaths. The audience applauds, but Daniel sees only Liam. He stands there, small but steadfast, his eyes blazing like an unquenchable flame. Daniel claps slowly, a profound emotion surging, not just pride but understanding. He realizes Liam didn't need victory to shine. He danced, he lived, he brought Sophia's memory back. Ava, from backstage, watches Liam with a gentle gaze, like a sister, a teacher. Daniel feels his chest lighten, yet a quiet question echoes. What did he do to bring Liam here? The stage darkens, but the light in Liam's heart burns on, and Daniel knows this moment will stay etched in him forever. In the Chicago Theater's hallway, after the competition, dim light from wall sconces casts a soft glow. The crowd's echoes fade, leaving a heavy stillness. Daniel Harper stands there, his dark suit pristine, but his eyes waver, as if searching for an unnamed answer. He spots Ava Bennett in a corner, her simple shirt wrinkled after a long day, her blonde hair loosely framing her shoulders. Daniel approaches, each step resounding on the wooden floor, carrying a quiet resolve. He needs to know, why did Ava, a mere waitress, ignite a spark in his son Liam's heart, when he, the father, could not. Ava looks up, her eyes tinged with sorrow, like a lake reflecting old wounds. Daniel stands before her, his chest tight, but his voice softer than usual. He doesn't command, doesn't interrogate as in billion-dollar meetings. He just wants to understand. Ava takes a deep breath, her hands clasped tightly, her gaze drifting, as if returning to a lost time. She begins to speak, her voice soft but clear, like a river flowing through painful memories. She and Ethan, her dance partner and love, once dreamed of conquering Broadway's stage. They danced swing as if the world belonged to them, each step a promise of a radiant future. But a car accident, mere hours before their biggest performance, stole Ethan away. With him, Ava's entire world collapsed. Music, once her breath, now brought only pain. She could no longer dance, couldn't face the stage without feeling her heart shatter. Daniel listens, standing motionless, the hallway's light revealing lines etched deep by his own grief. He thinks of Sophia, his wife lost 4 years ago, and how he built walls of control to hide his wounds. Ava continues, her voice trembling slightly. She chose to be a waitress to escape, to live an anonymous life where no one knew she was once a star. But then Liam appeared, with his pain and passion, like a mirror reflecting her younger self. The boy, with eyes blazing when he danced, awakened a part of her, a part she thought died with Ethan. Ava didn't teach Liam just to dance. She taught him to live again, to find joy amidst the fragments. Ava's words sweep through Daniel's mind like a breeze, clearing the fog he'd built around himself. He glances down the hallway, where Liam stands, his medal gleaming around his neck, his smile radiant like sunlight after a storm. Daniel's heart tightens, not from pain, but from an unfamiliar lightness. He realizes Ava didn't just help Liam rediscover joy. She showed him what he'd missed for 4 years. His son's happiness matters more than perfection. He doesn't need to control everything, doesn't need invisible walls. He only needs to be the father Liam needs, one who listens, who cheers, who loves. A month later, the Lake Forest Mansion's garden hums with rhythm. Liam, in a white t-shirt, practices for the next competition, his swing steps growing confident. Ava, now his official coach, stands nearby, correcting each move with quiet dedication. Daniel, for the first time in years, isn't in his study. He stands at the garden's edge, his polished shoes now grass-stained, his gaze tender as he watches his son. Liam falls, then rises, his smile unwavering. Daniel smiles, a rare, genuine smile, as if he too is learning to live again. The boy who once hid in books now dances, as if the world is his stage, and Daniel knows this is Ava's gift. He looks at the garden, where silver moonlight stretches, where Liam and Ava first danced. That moment, he once saw as a surprise, a threat. Now he understands it was the start of a new journey, one where love and understanding transcend all limits. Daniel breathes deeply, feeling the cool breeze from Lake Michigan. He no longer fears losing control. He just wants to be here, with Liam, with the dance steps, with the light his son brings. If you faced a chance to heal someone's heart, what would you do? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to let me know in the comments where you're watching from and what time it is for you. It's always exciting to see someone join us from all corners of the world. Drop a comment with the number 1 if you loved this story, so we can keep bringing you more incredible tales.